Let me say, at the early hour of 2 a.m., armed bandits entered Bethel Baptist High School in Damishi town in Kujama district of Chikun local government, where they made away with about 140 pupils, students who were in their dormitories. And fortunately for 28 number of students, they escaped from the hands of their adoptees. But as we speak, we still have 125 in the hands of their adopters. Now, it's very sad that this is not the first time institutions like schools are being attacked in my constituency. If you remember, the Greenfield University is still under my constituency, where 16 students, 23 students were kidnapped. And at the end of the day, in their press and desperation to get ransom payment, which was over 300 million, which they demanded. And of course, there was no way the parents of those students could raise that money. So to show how serious they were, they killed 5 of the students. I visited some of the families, and they told me their frustration and their trauma. At that time, the remaining were still in the hands of their adopters. And at the end of the day, the parents had to rally down to get money and pay for these students to be released. As I speak to you, the school has been closed. There is no more academic activities going on there. That happened in April. Now, this one that happened just yesterday is just one of the numerous incidences. I will tell you that if you look at the way they are happening, they are such in sequence that it's almost every day. In Iri, that's on 3rd of this very month, a village called Iri in Kaduna local government, 16 people were adopted, 3 were killed. As I speak to you, these people are still in the hands of their adopters, and what they are asking of is 100 million. As I speak to you, April 23rd, I have my paper. 2 nurses were adopted who were on duty in Idon General Hospital. I have visited the family, and from their conversation with the adopters, they told them that they've gotten staff. They are never going to release those nurses. That those nurses will be working for them to treat their wounded members who are wounded in the battle with the military or with the security agencies. So the hope of them coming back, I don't know what magic can take place. But I will tell you, my constituency is overwhelmed. On an sad note, let me also say 2 security personnel were killed yesterday who wanted to prevent the kidnapping in the Bethel Baptist High School. So 2 of them were killed. But authoritatively, I can tell you the number of security men that went there were just around 10, while the bandits were numbering even in hundreds. Ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you again, in Kakao, just 10 days ago, they went to Angwama Adaki, they kidnapped nearly 18 people, and they demanded for 200 million from that community, Angwama Adaki. 200 million. The chief called me, and he asked me if I could assist them. Now, gentlemen, I was taken aback because I didn't even know where to start from. Where do I raise 200 million to help? So we started negotiation, because the best thing to do is to negotiate. So they negotiated, and they said they must bring up to 150 million. And the man who was negotiating with them told them that the community does not have that money. Now, in their desperation, the next day they said, okay, they want to teach him an example. They told them where they will go and pick the corpse of the adoptees. 5 of them, they killed them and dropped them at a particular area. I have the pictures I can show. they were killed. I'm very, very emotional because I ask myself, what is the joy of being elected when I cannot prevent the killing of my people, when the government is overwhelmed? If I tell you what happened, the trauma I received yesterday morning when this thing happened, a woman just called me. I didn't even know her number, and let me say, ordinarily sometimes I may not even pick a number I don't know, but I just said this call has been consistent. Let me see, let me know who. The moment I picked the call, the voice of that woman was, is that how you people are going to allow us to be killed? Our children will be adopted? Is that what you are in government to do for us? But her child was one of the children that was taken from Bethel Baptist School. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are in my shoes, what will you tell them? What will you tell them? Times without number. If some of you can remember, and I don't intend to massage anybody's ego. Honestly, the government has failed in terms of providing security for my constituent. I will speak particularly for my constituent. If there's anything said we are doing our best, I will say their best is not good enough for us. Their best is a failure. Their best, which they term as best they can give Nigerians, is a failure. And let's say it. How long shall we continue this way? Are we going to continue to live like this? As I speak to you today, to prevent this thing happening, Kaduna State government has closed down 13 schools. Very soon, children are going to write WAEC. And they don't have lectures. They are going to sit at home to write. Are we thinking of the future of these children? Now, if you look at their own case, it's even better because they are talking of writing exams. How about those children that have been adopted? Will they think of exams?